Guys, I'm back up here for my review for last night's edition of Monday Night Raw. I had to wait to do this review because initially, as you saw, I was planning to go live for a review for what I was hoping would be a great go-home edition for the FastLane pay-per-view this Sunday, but that was not to be the case. Should have known better. You know, the past 4 weeks, I enjoyed Raw. I've enjoyed everything on the show, but I wasn't getting enough enjoyment out of the show, and then I knew it was coming. I should have known. It was only a matter of time before we got one of these episodes. And boy, are one of these episodes so bad to sit through. Minimal good stuff. A lot of crap. A lot of filler. There's just no way around this. Mundane Night Raw. This is my review for Mundane Night Raw for the, the February 27th, 2017 edition of Raw. This show was just so bad that I did the impossible. For the first time since I have my list right here in front of me. I'll show you what I did. I put the entire show on the list of Jericho. At first I was going, okay, New Day versus Rusev and Jinder again, and we'll get into that. But after a while, I just couldn't keep up with it. The show was just pissing me off so much that if I put everything that I didn't really like about the show on this list, it would pretty much be almost the entire show. So Raw, the February 27th edition, you just made the list! So congratulations, that's truly an honor. Just saying, not a lot from SmackDown on this list, wonder why. Anyways, let's talk about this show. Boy, oh boy, what a show. I'll talk about what I liked, because there was stuff that I liked on this show, but there wasn't enough. That's the problem. If you're going to give me 3 hours, you got to keep me entertained, invested, and all that good jazz. This show did not do that. It entertained me for the first segment, it entertained me for the segment at the top of the 10 o'clock hour. The last thing on the show, that's three things. And Joe versus Cesaro was good, but also that felt kind of underwhelming, and I'll get into my reasons why. This was not a good show. This was not a go-home show. It actually made me less excited for the pay-per-view, so good job for that. We did have Goldberg come out in Green Bay, Wisconsin. He talked about the fact that he was in a good mood. He's got 6 days till he's going to get Kevin Owens up for the spear. He's going to hit him with the spear, hit the jackhammer, and become the new Universal Champion, and will go into WrestleMania, defend the title against Brock Lesnar. Goldberg also makes the mention that this is a promise, and he makes promise. When he makes a promise, he has never made. What I'm trying to say is Goldberg has never made a promise that he hasn't kept. Kevin Owens would come out. He had a nice little promo here. I thought that he cut short, sweet, and to the point. He says, well, now that you're here, you can tell him, Owens is going to tell him how he feels to his face. He says, no matter how loud the sheep in the WWE universe chant his name, Goldberg is going to be the one who's next. He says, Goldberg says everyone should give Owens a hand for such an impassioned speech. And, Goldberg called Owens down to the ring. He said, well, you're here, I'm here, let's have a fight right here, right now. And Owens said, let's have Green Bay street fight. And then Owens stopped and he said, the fans here, they don't really deserve it, so I'm going to go to the back. Screw you guys. And he said, on Sunday, the Goldberg chant dies. I like what they're finally doing with Kevin Owens the past 3 weeks, but there's no way he's walking out of that pay-per-view with the Universal Championship. That's just how I see it. I see Goldberg beating Kevin Owens, and I'll save that for my FastLane predictions preview video. But I thought this was a good opening segment. I thought it was a great way to start the show, and it's a shame from here it was all downhill until Seth Rollins came to save the show. So that just goes to show you, from the 8:15 mark till around 10 o'clock, I just could not give two shits about this show. I tried. I really did. But once again, it's a 3-hour show, and you're going to have to do better than that to keep me invested. I mean, it was not good enough. And I'll show you why. The New Day versus Rusev and Jinder Mahal. Oh, and they made a lame, unfun, one of the worst attempts at comedy I've seen. The New Day made the Oscar reference for when they messed up, giving the Academy Award, whatever happened there. You know what went down at the Oscars. They gave out the wrong movie to the award to the wrong movie. So the New Day said, Shining Stars, you're going to be facing the Big Show, No, it's actually going to be the New Day versus Rusev and Jinder Mahal, and we were supposed to laugh, and boy, was that dead silence in that crowd that you could hear. So the Directionless Day defeated Rusev and Jinder Mahal. I really could not care less about what happened here. We had Enzo and Cass talking about how the fact that Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows have won tag titles all over the world, but they have never won tag team championships, and Enzo goes on a rant about championship gold. That was what it was. This ain't going to be a long review, guys. We have Sheamus and Cesaro. Samoa Joe interrupts him, and pretty much Joe gets right in Cesaro's face, and Joe says, Cesaro, you're mad that you're still searching for the brass ring, but Joe debuted with it around his neck. And Cesaro made the fact saying that, Joe, all you've ever done is carry Triple H's jockstrap. Joe says that was clever, and we see how far being clever has gotten Cesaro so far. Joe laughs and walks away, and it leads to the eventual announcement that it's going to be Samoa Joe versus Cesaro. So I thought that was a nice way to set up that match. Mick Foley later on made the announcements for that match. We got Stephanie McMahon emasculating Mick Foley. I pray to God that the rumors are true, that just get it over with. Fire Mick Foley, okay? Because, he's not going to get one up. Nobody gets one over on Stephanie McMahon. Remember, this is the Stephanie McMahon show. It's all about Stephanie. Got to make Stephanie look great, If you're going to build her up, at least have somebody get the proper comeuppance, over her. But they're obviously never going to do that, so I've given up hope on somebody getting comeuppance over Stephanie. So she's just going to continue to bitch out, chew out, emasculate. I'm the principal. You're the bad student. How dare you? It's just freaking old and annoying at this point. And channel-changing heat when this woman comes on. I just could not care less. We had Akira Tozawa defeat Noam Dar. A lot of fast matches. I mean, there really were hardly any long matches on this show outside the women. I didn't think that was really any good either. We had Akira Tozawa defeat Noam Dar with the snap German suplex. After the match, the Brian Kendrick attacked Tozawa from behind. And Kendrick said, even if you win your match, it's not over. You have to have eyes in the back of your head, which Tozawa doesn't. This led to the announcement on the pre-show. It will be Tozawa and Rich Swann teaming up to take on Noam Dar and the Brian Kendrick. So that was what it was. We had Charlotte come down. She said Bayley should have done the right thing and handed back the Raw Women's Championship. She didn't. She said Bayley didn't care how she won the title. The difference between Charlotte and Bayley is that Bayley is a one-hit wonder. Bayley eventually came out. She said, Charlotte, the word you're looking for is Bayley is a champion. Bayley wants to go on and head into WrestleMania as the Raw Women's Champion. And Sasha Banks would come out, and she says Bayley is everything Charlotte wishes she was, everything the fans want. She says Bayley is more deserving of a title than Charlotte will ever be, and then eventually this leads to Charlotte saying, well, it was supposed to be Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Sasha Banks and Bayley, but actually this is going to be my partner. And it was Nia Jax and Charlotte versus Sasha and Bayley. I thought the match was sloppy at times. It was decent. Definitely wasn't their best work. Some botches here and there. Nia Jax hit the ropes and crushed Bayley with the running leg drop for the win. So obviously this is setting up for Nia to be in the title contention for the rumored fatal 4-way match between Nia, Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley. All I can say is I really wish this Raw Women's division could get some depth. Where's Summer Rae? Is she ever going to come back? Rested up, healing up from injuries. We'd like nice to see her on TV. Obviously, Paige, if she comes back, she wouldn't be back till summer. But Emma, you're doing absolutely nothing with her. You could do something with her. Even Alicia Fox. I mean, she can go. Why not do something with her? I mean, you have women. It's the same for women. There's only so many times I could see them wrestling each other until you just become numb and sick to it, like I was with Charlotte versus Sasha. They really beat that feud into the ground. Backstage, Braun Strowman asked Mick Foley for a contract signing against this match against Roman Reigns. He says he wants the contract put into, writing, so the fact that Roman won't be able to run out of this match if he's afraid of Braun Strowman. Boy, this is the best part of the show. If you tuned out for like a 2-minute match between Luke Gallows versus Big Cass, with once again Anderson and Gallows being made to look like chumps, not champs. Cass hit the big boot on Gallus for the win. It was over in the blink of an eye. Could not care less. Sheamus versus Titus O'Neil. This is the stuff you want to see on the Go Home show right here. Sheamus versus Titus O'Neil. Sheamus hits the bro kick for the win. Moving on. Finally. I knew there was some power or positivity on this dreadful episode of Raw. Seth Rollins, in-ring interview with Corey Graves. Rollins comes down, he hobbles down with the ring brace. He gets into the ring, talks to Corey Graves. Graves asks where Rollins' head is right now. Rollins says he's being honest, it sucks. He said he felt the same snap in his knee as it did before. And over the past 3 years, he wondered if what he did to win the title at WrestleMania a few years back was worth it. And Graves asked Rollins the question, are you going to be at WrestleMania? Rollins says right now it's not looking good. It doesn't look like he will be cleared to compete at WrestleMania. Eventually, Triple H comes out, and him and Joe corner Rollins. Joe's off to the side. Triple H gets up on the ring apron. Triple H pretty much says, and I thought this was tremendous stuff right here, no matter what anyone says, Rollins needs to understand that he will not be at WrestleMania. There's no way Rollins didn't realize he brought this on himself. Triple H says he gave Rollins everything that he said he would, and Rollins bit the hand that fed him. Triple H said he used Rollins up and spit him out. That's life. You pretty much got to get over it. Triple H used to tell everyone that Rollins was the future, but he is really just a beaten down and broken superstar of the past. Rollins needs to make the right decision here. Do not call him out at WrestleMania. If Rollins shows up at WrestleMania, it will be the last thing Seth Rollins ever does in the WWE ring. Rollins then rebuttals and says that a month ago he told Stephanie that he has nothing to lose. He will be at WrestleMania, and if it's going to be the last thing he will ever do, it will also be the last thing Triple H will ever do. Despite the annoying, heckling CM Punk chants from the crowd, and that really distracted and, for me, took away a little bit from this segment. Can't stand when stuff like that happens. Just shut up. I just have to get that out of there. Just shut up, and it was annoying and didn't need to hear that. But outside of that, I thought this was a really good in-ring segment. Put heat on this feud between Rollins and Triple H. Got me even more excited for the fact that we're hearing that we know Seth Rollins. Now we know he's coming for WrestleMania. He will be at WrestleMania. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done this in the first place. So I like the interaction between him and Triple H. I like the last lines of words that Rollins got out saying it will be the last thing. If it's going to be the last thing that he will ever do, it will also be the last thing that Triple H is going to ever do. This was the best thing on this show by far, so it was nice to find one measure of positivity before the show just seeps off into the abyss again. Ready for this one? Big Show versus Shining Stars. Who cares? Why? Because the Big Show hit the WND on Epico and a chokeslam on Prima for the win. Moving on. Jack Gallagher and TJ Perkins versus Tony Nese and Neville. Jack Gallagher and TJ Perkins wins as a result of Neville deciding to walk out on his partner Tony Nese. Tony Nese taps out. Boy, under 5-minute cruiserweight matches, that is really going to help them get over. I mean, it's not like you could give them longer matches and allow them to go out there and work the styles that they did in the CWC and do the video packages to help explain who they are as characters and why we should care and give them feuds that are interesting. What do I know? What do I know? Just being a little cynical here, if you can't tell. It was announced that Beth Phoenix is the next inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame, so congratulations to the Glamazon. We have the announcement that Stephanie walked in on Sasha Banks and Bayley and announced that it will be Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks going one-on-one at FastLane. We then had Cesaro versus Samoa Joe. I thought it was a good match, but instead of doing, I don't know, the Shining Stars versus Big Show, we could have cut that out entirely and given this match at least 10 more minutes, I thought. Given more time, it could have been an excellent match. But for what it was good. But I wanted a longer match, and we didn't get that. Joe worked over the leg of Cesaro, and Cesaro attempted to hit the neutralizer, but Joe was able to back body drop him out of the ring. Cesaro landed on his feet. Or not. Cesaro did land on his feet in the ring and attempted the springboard European uppercut. Joe was able to push Cesaro. He got hung up in the ropes. Joe whipped Cesaro into the ropes, hit the Uranagi suplex for the victory. And after the match, I did like this part. Joe said, this serves as a reminder to everyone in the back. It doesn't matter what you accomplish or who you are. None of it matters. Sami Zayn's music hits, And Zayn attacks Joe from behind. Referees have to separate Joe, and Zayn does a dive off the stage with the tope to take out Joe. And the refs have to pull apart and separate these guys. So I like what they did. Okay, there were 4 things on the show. That still ain't good enough for a 3-hour show. I like what they did between Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn. I look forward to their showdown at FastLane on Sunday. And we'll get into the final segment. I did like the contract signing segment between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. Foley said, Strowman, you demanded to have this contract signing because Strowman believes Reigns will try to back out of the match. And Strowman eventually comes down to the ring. He gets right in Foley's face. He says, and Strowman tells Foley that his job is done and you leave. Foley says that even though my time as GM may be coming to an end, you will listen to what Foley has to say for the fact that, he is a legend, and despite the fact that you talk down to me and call me a broken down man, Mick says GMs come and go, but legends are forever. And Strowman pretty much laughed off what Mick Foley said and slapped the microphone right out of his hand. That's when Roman Reigns came down. He attacked Braun Strowman. They had a nice little pull-apart brawl. Strowman literally threw Roman Reigns over the steel steps. And Reigns hit a number of Superman punches on Braun Strowman, but that really didn't seem to have much effect to Strowman. They eventually battled into the crowd. They eventually Reigns hit a spear in the barricade, into the barricade, taking out Strowman. So that was really nice looking. Reigns gets into the ring, and Strowman gets back up, gets on the ring apron, attempts for a Superman punch. Strowman avoids it, and Strowman throws Reigns chest first into the turnbuckle, which comes off and detaches from the ring post. And as Strowman is walking away, Reigns signs the contract for the match at Fastlane, which I also look forward to. So it wasn't complete crap, but for a go-home episode of Raw, I expected much better. I mean, what was good was good. The Triple H Rollins stuff was good. Goldberg Owens stuff, good. Reigns and Strowman, good. But just way, way, way too much. And Owens Zayn. Way too much filler here and there. It once again proves why if the show was 2 hours, it might have been a C show. But it's not. This is one of those episodes of Raw that you really don't have to go back and watch. If you just watch the highlights, that I said here, you'll be fine. You'll be caught up. Instead of suffering and sitting through 3 hours of this crap. So my grade for Raw this week is a D+. Hopefully next week's better. You got 4 weeks till WrestleMania. I want some A and B shows. No excuses now. But SmackDown tonight, guys. Cannot wait for my SmackDown Live review. Going to be going live immediately following SmackDown at 10:10 p.m. Ty Dillinger's favorite time of the day. Just got to say. So be sure to come back up here. I will, of course, have the list with me. I don't think I'll have to write too much down on the list from SmackDown, but you never know. Still have that tag team division that needs some improvement. But cannot wait for SmackDown. Always enjoy watching the A show. That is it for this Monday Night Raw review, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click my like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel. And once again, I will see you in my next videos. Thanks for watching. Take care, and have a great day.